Put your mind at ease. If you relax it, willing things I ain't even tried. The cards will tell. 3.
Take a little trip into deep into your heart and soul.
Yes, Sir Hairless here. Today we are back with VoicePlay. This is a Patreon request. Thank you to Dale and Carol for this one. This is Friends on the Other Side. It's a song from the 2009 Disney film, The Princess and the Frog. I've not had a chance to watch this film all the way through, but I have watched a clip of this song from the original with a bit of context either side as well. I've also listened to the original song a number of times whilst cooking. However, if I do miss anything in this video or don't understand something that the film's context would have helped with, please do let me know in the comments. I can see why VoicePlay chose this one. The word theatrical comes to mind, at least from when I've been listening to it. It's a villain song. The other Disney villain song that they've done that I've seen, Hellfire. I loved it. I became obsessed with that song. The original version, with VoicePlay's version, with Peter Hollins's version. Please do check out my videos to them. It was just such a clever song and yeah, I became obsessed. I also was not too amazed with that one the first time I heard it. It grew on me massively. Maybe that will be the same with this one as well. As for the lineup that we're seeing, it is featuring Jay Nunn. We're very familiar with him by now. So without further ado, let's get straight into it.
Sire, this man is obviously a charlatan. I suggest we move on to it.
Don't you disrespect me, little man. Don't you derogate or deride. You're in my world now, not your world. And I got friends on the other side. That's an echo, gentlemen. Just a little something we have here in Louisiana. A little poetry. Don't worry. Sit down at my table. Put your mind at ease. If you relax, it will enable me to do anything I please.
I can read your future. I can cheat you around some too. I look deep into your heart and soul.
You do have a soul, don't you, Lawrence?
Make your wildest dreams come true.
I got voodoo, I got things I ain't even tried.
And I got friends on the other side.
Yeah, I got friends on the other.
Yeah, this is off to a good start. I'm liking it a lot, especially the walking bass and how much essence from the original they've captured here. I'll probably include some examples showing some original clips. I mean, look, let's do our first pause here. There's a fair bit to talk about. As usual with VoicePlay, if you don't want to hear my analysis, go to the timestamp. So as usual, I start with talking about the key. I'm not going to in this case because there are 2 clips of this song on YouTube from the original song and they are a semitone apart. VoicePlay are singing in the same key as one of those clips, so that's the one I will be using. I was curious, I couldn't settle with that, so I just checked on Spotify. VoicePlay are doing it in B flat, but the original is in A. So they are just one semitone higher. Usually they sing in the same key, at least from what I've seen. Luckily we have a clip on YouTube in the same key, so that makes the comparisons easier. Yeah, so how well they've captured the essence of the original.
Don't you disrespect me, little man.
Don't you disrespect me, little man.
And what a good job Jay Nunn does as the villain. Also Ellie, his little shriek, his little
don't you disrespect me, little man.
It's reminding me of the Oogie Boogie song. Or the Gremlins, the Grundles from In the Hall of the Mountain King, or the more recent classical Chaos. As usual, very, very high production value, nice visual effects.
You're in my world now, not your world.
It's to be expected at this point really, isn't it? The chords here, oh, so jazzy.
In my world now, not your world.
And Jeff's chromatic line, dum 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 dum, underneath the swooning falsetto above.
World now, not your world.
Which move just before him in terms of rhythm and then align straight back up with him. We're getting hints of some nice rhythmic touches. We know how they love their rhythms. And then this bit, I think, is very nice, humorous too. A very, very clear cadence here. Unlike the original song, at this point, it's pretty much atonal. It makes it unsettling though. When I first heard the original, I was thinking this style of song is so well suited for voice play, or I imagine it would be, and it does seem to be the case. You know, Jeff being this walking double bass.
That's an echo, gentlemen. Just a little something we have here in Louisiana, a little poetry. Don't worry.
By the original song,
Just a little something we have here in Louisiana, a little parlor trick, don't worry.
I guess this is set around the 1920s, maybe the 1930s. So this song, the music, is definitely inspired by music from that era. 100 years ago that now, wow. We get Jeff sinking super low, and to contrast this, the upper parts, they go for these swelling oohs.
Don't worry. Sit down at my table.
And then they switch to more rhythmic syncopations and percussive doo-doos. I thought that they'd keep doing that, but then...
At ease. If you relax, it will enable me to do.
They do these semi-lyrical repetitions, so kind of like half of the lines in terms of lyrics. It's always a nice stylistic choice. I think it's very cool, as long as it's not overdone. They exaggerate the rhythms, and rhythms are super, super important for this style of music. On the topic of rhythms, of course, they managed to sneak in one of these very quickly layered chords, as they often do.
In Louisiana, a little poetry. Don't worry.
And just once more.
We have here in Louisiana, a little poetry.
If we include Jeff's staccato bass note, the short, disjointed bass note at the start, because it is technically the first note of this layering, even though it doesn't sustain, this is what we get. So that's quite funky, and with J Nun's spoken melody.
Louisiana, a little poetry. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's all around. It's a little bit funky here. Lane's sound effect as well.
Poetry. Don't worry. Sit down.
If this guy walked at me looking like that, making that noise, I'm running for the hills. So a bit after that, Jeff has a low note. What do the upper parts do to make it more obvious?
Finger, please.
He's gone up to that D flat up there. That's a solid 3+ octaves. Ellie then gets his melody, and in order to do so, we have J Nun sprinkling this kind of magic dust over it.
I can read your future.
Which I imagine is to kind of transfer J Nun's mind into Ellie. It's a nice touch to get him to sing, otherwise it wouldn't really work. For reference, in the original song, it's only the J Nun's character who sings, really. Back to the bass line, so important with this music, the walking bass. Yeah, we get a very funky bit here.
Some too, I look deep into your heart and soul.
You do have a soul, don't you?
And again, the other parts, in order to not outshine the bass, what do? Well, they've gone back to singing a simple ooh sound.
Your wildest dreams come true.
I got voodoo, I got things I ain't even tried.
Yeah, such a good homage to the original. I say homage, I mean it is a copy of the original, that's what they're doing. But stylistically, even the camera like swooshing between the scenes with the sound effect as well. Let's go listen to the original.
I got voodoo, I got hoodoo, I got things I ain't even tried.
I got voodoo, I got voodoo.
Is that the chicken from Moana? I think it is. Alright, well, let's carry on. From Caesar's I Got Friends on the Other Side, there was a very, very nice come off there, so much air. A very, I don't know, pensive kind of sound.
And I got friends on the other side.
Yeah, I got friends on the other side. Come on. The cards will tell.
The past, the present, and the future as well.
The cards, just take 3.
Take a little trip into your future with me.
Now, you young men are from across the sea. You come from 2 long lines of royalty. Your lifestyle's high, but your funds are low. You got a married little honey whose daddy got dough. Mom and dad cut you off, huh, playboy?
Sad but true.
Now you gotta get hitched, but hitching ties you down. You just wanna be free, hopping place to place. But freedom takes green.
It's the green, it's the green, it's the green you need.
When I look into the future, it's the green that I see. On you, little man, don't wanna waste much time.
Oh, okay. They've changed a fair bit actually from the original here. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a more theatrical one. And it's weird because some of the music is just amazing. And then contrasting that, you know, with a rap section, it's definitely different. Yeah, some really, really lovely stuff. All right, well, let's go back over that middle section, I guess. From where we carried on, we hadn't heard Lane in a while.
Yeah, I got friends on the other side.
So it's nice to use clicking as the kind of main bit of percussion here. I always feel that clicking people want to join in. It's so simple to do, everyone can do it. I mean, last time we heard Lane was about, what, 20 seconds before, I think, around here?
Make your wildest dreams come true.
With that cool effect there. One of the standout features is their choice to use Jeff here. And by using Jeff instead of J Nunn, it removes the complete solo element, kind of a bit more like team play. Because as I said earlier, in the original, it's just the one character singing for the whole thing, pretty much.
The cards will tell.
And that voice, it's so perfect for this. It's almost like hypnotic. They've elongated that section significantly as well to make use of and exaggerate Jeff's voice. Let's hear the original.
The cards will tell.
And I love as well how just after that, Jeff then has this walking bass interlude before then going back.
The past, the present, and the future as well.
The cards.
I mean, we do also hear a bass part as he's going, the cards. But, you know, in terms of the diegesis here, the story, what we're seeing in the video. I wanted to say as well, we do get some funky harmony here.
The cards. The cards. The cards. The cards. The cards will tell.
I think we're hearing... and then... this B dominant 7th chord. Okay, and that bit that follows, everything about it is so good at creating this kind of mystical, magical, dream-like atmosphere. It reminds me of some, I don't know, 1970s Doctor Who or something. Or Alice in Wonderland, dreaming.
The cards. Just take 3.
The swishing sound, the harmony in its rising arpeggiated figure, and of course the distortion on the sound that's like a... or that's almost like this very intense vibrato. I imagine this sound in terms of imagery as a rippling camera effect that then goes into the next scene, which is a dream. Sorry, why does Caesar look like a schoolboy here? The outfit's good, the outfit is good. I don't know, it's probably just his smile in his cheeks or something. Sorry, that made me laugh. Anyway, this next section, until we paused pretty much, it's really, really interesting. Immediately here, they've kept things in a similar style to as we've seen before. The original does not have this. In the original, I actually really like it. We have this rather peaceful legato interlude. It's quite classical or romantic in sound for obvious reasons.
Now you young man are from across the sea.
The harmony as well, compared to the rest of the song, which is very jazzy. Jazz harmony tends to be much more complex. And the orchestral instruments playing, violins, very different to the VoicePlay rap section. And we get banging on the table for percussion as well.
Now you young men are from across the sea. You come from 2 long lines of royalty.
Actually, I say that, but Lane appears to be making these sounds.
Your lifestyle's high, but your funds are low. You gotta make...
And then the next little bit, that was in the original when I was listening and I was thinking, okay, this is very, very theatrical. It's speaking, it's clearly part of a film or something, you know, not just its own song. And overall, the music is sporadic. It's changing constantly from section to section. It's not that smooth flowing. So I was wondering how VoicePlay would handle this.
Mom and Dad cut you off, huh, Playboy?
Sad but true.
Now y'all gotta get hitched.
VoicePlay do keep this peculiar harmony. We have parts moving in exact parallel motion up and down. There's no changing here to account for the surrounding harmony. I've spoken about this quite a lot in previous videos, most recently in my reaction to Peter Hollins and Tim Faust doing Misty Mountains. Please do check that out if you haven't already. Card up here. About why this kind of movement sounds peculiar. It's a slightly different context here in Friends on the Other Side, but let me show you on the piano.
Mom and Dad cut you off, huh, Playboy?
Sad but true.
Now you gotta get hitched, buddy.
The top part by itself sounds fine. But then when you add in the second line, which Jeff doubles down a couple of octaves, alright, and then there was this, which I'd love to see them do live.
Just wanna be free, hopping place to place, but freedom.
Sorry?
Wanna be free, hopping place to place, but freedom.
Doing that live, I'd imagine it's 3 parts. The first part, dum, then the middle part, da-da-dum, and then the bottom part, dum.
Hopping place to place.
And then, yeah, we get this changer chord that I'll call it. It's still peculiar, but different due to some of the notes now. They've changed and it's implying that we're about to go somewhere.
Freedom takes proof.
The green is the green is the green you need.
And we do. Back to the style from the previous sections. They're singing in homophony, so the same words at the same time as the same rhythms, to really drive home this idea that we've returned to what we're familiar with, what the song started out as. And that's where we got to, so let's carry on now until the end.
I'm looking to the future, it's the green that I see.
On you, little man, don't wanna waste much time. You've been pushed around all your life. You've been pushed around by your mother and your sister and your brother. And if you was married, you'd be pushed around by your wife. But in your future, the you I see is exactly the man you always wanted to be. Shake my hand. Come on, boys. Won't you shake a poor sinner's hand? Yes. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Transformation Central. Reformation Central.
Transmogrification Central. Can you feel that? Yeah.
You're changing, you're changing, you're changing, alright. I hope you're satisfied. But if you wait, don't blame me. You can blame my friends on the other side.
You got what you wanted.
Lost what you had.
I got friends on the other side.
Yeah, that's a cool one, isn't it? Listening to that song beforehand, I was really wondering what they're going to do. Are they going to stay quite literal to the original music? Are they going to change it up, introduce their own elements? They did a bit of everything, really. The original song, it is very compartmentalized, section, 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 section. So there's not really much you can do about that. Again, this is one of those songs that I don't think I'd necessarily listen to a lot in my free time, just casually. But here, with the video and the production and everything, yeah, it's really, really good. A few final points from that last third before we wrap up. I really liked this harmonic sequence I'm about to play. The chords, they're set up so nicely by Jeff's bass part at the bottom, and he finishes
On you, little man, don't wanna waste much time. You've been pushed around all your life. You've been pushed around by your mother.
I remember thinking I really enjoy that. What note is that? I'm struggling to...
On you, little man, don't wanna waste much time. You've been pushed around all your life. You've been
Yeah, okay. Well, struggled a bit there, but he finishes on the root note there. But it's this nice dominant 7th chord. You would have heard me speak about that type of chord before, because that's the chord, and then we have this note in there as well. When we hear this type of chord, we typically then expect the next chord to be 5 notes down from there. So, 2... But they don't do that. They stay on the same chord and initiate the next harmonic sequence, in which chromaticism is the key feature.
You've been pushed around by your mother and your sister and your brother. And if
The lowest and highest parts, they're descending in chromatic parallel motion, working very nicely together. If we play them in the same octave, then their starting notes are... And it's even nicer because of the offbeat static note.
you've been pushed around by your mother and your sister and your brother.
Similar to what we saw in my last VoicePlay reaction, which was Mr. Blue Sky, with the mostly repeated note, Ellie chromatically coming down, so this is what we hear. We get a great transition here.
Transformation Central. Reformation Central.
Or should I say transformation or reformation? That very cool as well, this mask coming on his face.
Reformation Central.
The bass part, so crucial here. In the original, that's one of my favourite bits actually. Just quite menacing, isn't it? And crazy all round. They're really enjoying their falsettos in this one, aren't they?
You're changing, alright. I hope you're...
And Jeff has this static drone note at the bottom. So now, of all the backing parts, our focus is on the falsetto parts because the bass isn't jumping all around the shop. Jay Nunn joins the falsetto crew. And Ellie and Caesar there as well. There are quite a lot of moments in this where those two are working so well together. Caesar moving into significantly higher registers as well. Yeah, very, very cool one. This is kind of making me tempted to go and watch the film, even just for this song. A lot of cool things in there, especially some of the walking bass lines, just super, super catchy. Great arrangement. Some parts I did prefer in the original from a musically stylistic perspective. Other parts I much prefer what VoicePlay did here. Yeah, it's a very, very interesting one. We'll see on my future listens if my thoughts change or anything, because it's quite difficult just hearing it for the first time to really, really get an understanding of exactly how you feel about a song. Cool, well, I think let's leave that one there. Thank you again for this request, and thank you to everyone for watching. Would appreciate a like and subscribe. If you enjoy my content and want to support me, please do join the community at the Patreon link on the screen now. There are new perks available. You can vote on polls to decide future reactions. And I will see you next time.